2 years later. On the New York Times bestseller list, longer than Saga, still cooking with Chow Chu. New from award-winning writer Amelia Mintz, Eaters.
Oh my gosh, Napoleon, you're hilarious. Oh, golly. Oh, hey, how's it going? Yeah, so this is heaven. What do you think? It's not so bad. There's no hangovers here, for one thing. Plus, I'm omnipotent, which is pretty cool, because I can do all these neat omniscient narrator tricks now, like breaking the fourth wall. And back on Earth, I've been avenged, so that seemed to have all worked out. Anyway, good to see you. Things are moving pretty fast now. Not much time left for Tony or poor Amelia or any of the rest of the gang. Miss Chu. What? Mr. Lincoln and Mr. Khan are ready whenever you are. Oh, goody. Hey, I gotta go now. Pressing engagement and all that. And you have a story to get to. So, go on now. Get out of here. Shoo! No, seriously, get. You're interrupting things. Move along now.
Happy Easter! From your friends at Chew, Image Comics, the United States Food and Drug Administration, and the President of the United States of America. Please wait until Easter to read this issue. Now! And welcome to the White House Easter Egg Roll, where, on the East Lawn, it's been held annually for almost 150 years, with the president hosting hundreds of children from all around the country for an afternoon of festivities and holiday fun. And joining us again this year, a more recent but no less beloved holiday tradition, is the Easter Platypus, the Easter mascot who replaced the Easter Bunny after the tragic avian bird flu resulted in the prohibition of chicken eggs and other poultry-related products. And as he's done every year since, the Easter Platypus will bring joy, delivering candy, chocolate eggs, and even the occasional platypus egg to Easter celebrants one and all. Well, almost all. Assume the position, drop trowel, spread 'em wide, and get ready for the long arm of the law. Agent Barry! Hello there, Security Chief. Are you actually intending to strip search the official White House Easter mascot here on the East Lawn? It was a cavity search, if you want to be precise, and I was gonna have Agent Voorhees do the honors. And you thought this was a good idea, why? I just figured, under the circumstances, it's better to be extra cautious. What with everything that happened earlier today in Italy. That is not your call, Agent Barry. I just thought your job is to follow orders, not think. Trust me when I say this was an extraordinarily bad idea. Why don't you and your partner go stand over there? Keep an eye on things and stay out of trouble. Well, fuck. Ferrous sulfate, TMN mononitrate, riboflavin, maltodextrin, sodium caseinate, and disodium phosphate.
Look, Olive, your little friend just got his ass chewed by Security Chief Bulgogi, that little Secret Service dude. What's his name? The funny little teddy bear guy. He's not my little friend. I just said I knew who he was. D-Bear. Used to be FDA. Worked with my dad for a while. I thought your dad was some famous chef. That's my uncle. Your dad works for the FDA? Jesus, Jenny, we have this conversation every day. Do we? Oh, hey, is that scar on your face new? Oh, hey, that reminds me. Check this out. It's a chunk. You got one of those new genetically engineered pets, and you brought it into a White House kitchen? Yep. Cost me a shit ton. Half chog and half skunk? Correction, half psychedelic jog, half skunk. Oh, I'm gonna need
I'm hearing a lot of chatter back here and not a lot of cooking. Let's do less of the former and more of the latter, We don't want to keep the president waiting come lunchtime, do we? And kitchen intern Cadante, I do hope for your sake you're not working under the influence.
No, sir, Security Chief Bulgogi. Super as a judge. Swear to Buddha.
Okay, good. Both of you get to work.
Oh, God. I'm totally gonna jump his bones at the next holiday party.
You tried that at the last holiday party.
That really happened?
Exactly how high are you, Ginny?
You tell me. Is that really a 7-foot Easter platypus with a machine gun outside holding President What's-His-Face hostage?
Outside! We are Ag. We believe the fascist government of the United States has lied to you for years about the cause of the deadly avian flu outbreak and subsequent poultry prohibition. We believe this president and the presidents before him have been complicit in the cover-up. We believe that the incident today in Europe is proof that the world governments and its leaders are concealing the truth about the connection of the bird flu with the strange fire rising that appeared in this planet's skies. For years, we've sought to expose the truth. For years, we've called for the return of the Easter Bunny and the unconditional legalization of eggs. And as of today, we're through fucking around. Get down! Oh, God, Jenny! Ginny?
Go get him, Tiger!
Now, Mr. President, we shall discuss exactly what policy changes are going to institute. Not gonna happen. Olive Chu is a cibopath, one of 3 living cibopaths, the other 2 being her father, Anthony Chu, and her mentor, Mason Savoy. Of the 3, Olive is by far the most powerful, able to shut off her power whenever she desires, and absorb memories and abilities of those she consumes with far greater speed and efficiency. She's absorbed the Zocoscalpir ability, and is able to sculpt chocolate weapons that can mimic their real-life counterparts. She's absorbed the Gelaplasmator ability, which allows her to do the same with gelatin. And she's a Torta Espadero, able to turn tortillas into deadly edged weaponry. She was also her high school's valedictorian, and has gone on to be an honor roll college student pursuing an Epicurean criminology degree. Someday, Olive Chu will be one of the most extraordinary and accomplished FDA agents the world has ever seen. And today is another important step in that long journey. The young lady who just saved my ass, the one with the battle axe that appears to be made of jello. I'm going to want a word with her. Yes, sir, Mr. President. You know, if you just allow me to search that platypus mascot like I wanted to, none of this would have happened. Yes, and I appreciate you not mentioning this to the president.
Hey, what did I miss?
Oh, Security Chief Bulgogi and I were just discussing my promotion and my upcoming presidential commendation.
Cool.
Wait, what? Epilogue! Congratulations on your excellent work, ladies, and I want you to know that the president himself signed off on the early completion of your internships, accelerated the university's release of your degrees, and also fast-tracked both of your applications to the FDA with his highest recommendations. Miss Chu, if I were a betting man, I'd lay money that by this time next year, both you and your partner will be full-fledged agents of the United States Food and Drug Administration.
Drugs.
Is there a problem, Miss Chu?
Cool.
First of all, Genevieve Cardante is not my partner. She's just somebody I got assigned to and then stuck with. She's unstable, she's a nut, and there's no way I can work with her. 1 year later, Jurassic Park Pandemonium. 3 years later, Crazed Clam Calamity. 5 years later, Overthrowing Presidente Peanut. Many, many years later, Culinary Catastrophe in Futuristic Foodville. End the Last Supper, Chapter 1. Prologue, years ago, back when the bird flu hit. And then just a few months later, My sincere thanks to you for taking the time to meet with me, Senator Montashen, and I want to express my profound and genuine assurances of my unflagging commitment to uncovering the truth behind this deadly illness which resulted in the sudden, tragic deaths of so many. This contagion, I very much believe, was not naturally occurring. Its release was a deliberate act, and the decree that followed to create a national prohibition on poultry-based foodstuffs was likewise deliberate. Not a reaction to safeguard against further outbreaks, but instituted by the same forces responsible for the release of the Great Sickness. Part of a covert and enigmatic agenda that I likewise pledge to you that I will endeavor to discover and expose. This I vow, as a citizen of America and the world, as well as an agent of the newly formed Special Crimes Division of the United States Food and Drug Administration, and as a cibopath. I have no doubt as to your determination, Mr. Savoy. That's Agent Savoy. Perhaps we should discuss this further over dinner. What I have to offer is far more than determination, my dear sir. I am one of only 2 known cibopaths in the world. Though I've recently heard rumors of a 3rd operating in the Philadelphia region, and I assure you I am investigating that as well. This extraordinary ability, cibopathy, the ability to get psychic impressions from whatever I ingest, should give me a distinct advantage in my continuing inquiry. In uncovering what I believe is almost certainly an incalculably vast conspiracy, whose reach I fear extends to the very highest echelons of this planet's entire international power structure. Furthermore, excuse me, Senator Montashen. There is but one single organic comestible that has the peculiar and lamentable effect of blocking my cibopathic talent, and I fear that in one of the dishes before me is... What is this, anyway?
Persimmon claquembouche.
Persimmon chutney, persimmon bouillabaisse.
Sous vide New York staple persimmon reduction. Caramelized capellini and persimmon chanterelle.
Fuck you.
I do hope we have an understanding, Mr. Savoy.
With or without you, I will succeed in determining the truth.
Good luck to you, Mr. Savoy. You won't like what you find.
End prologue. 12 hours ago, Vatican City, Easter Sunday. Pope Tangelo IV, sermon at St. Peter's Basilica.
Chicken heals doom!
FDA briefing room, very quickly thereafter. What do you mean the Pope converted? Exactly that! Declared himself a follower of the divinity of the Immaculate Ova Church. Declared that eating chicken is a sin. Declared that chicken eating must stop or chicken eaters must die. Declared it in front of a televised worldwide audience of millions. The Pope's an egg worshiper now? Why? That's what the 2 of you are going to find out, Agents Chu and Colby. And here's how you're going to do it. Read these briefing docs. Your flight leaves in precisely 30 minutes. Be safe, John. Roger that. Boss.
Yamapalu.
Yamapalu, that weird Western Pacific island where the colza berries grow? You've been there, right?
Couple times now.
And that's where the high priestess of the Immaculate Ova's what's-her-name, Alani Adobo, set up their home base for their wacky cult, right?
Yep.
I hear you say your mission is in Yamapalu? Yeah, that's right. Excuse me for a sec. God, that guy is so fucking obvious. Elsewhere! Tony! Hi, Amelia. How are you? You busy? You writing? Yeah, working on the confrontation scene between the alien detective and the Mad Eater. But the scene keeps going in a direction that I don't want to go. You're calling because you're going to be late tonight, aren't you, Tony? Because of what happened with the Pope, right? Yeah, kinda. They think his religious conversion is related to an FDA asset we lost a couple years ago. And they're sending me and Colby to Yamapalu to find him. Carlton Cardamon is a cognum monetus, capable of reading any menu in any language. He was also an agent for the FDA's intelligence division, specializing in culinary cryptology. He went missing on assignment in Russia some years ago, almost immediately after the presumed-to-be extraterrestrial fiery skywriting appeared across the upper hemisphere of planet Earth. The presumption was that he and his ability was absorbed by the murderous cibopathic collector while on the assignment. Though subsequent FDA investigations into Cardamon's whereabouts have proved frustratingly fruitless. And today, while FDA intelligence officers were reviewing satellite surveillance photos of a recent meeting between Immaculate Ova High Priestess Alani Adobo and Pope Tangelo IV, facial recognition software positively identified a figure in the Immaculate Ova's contingent as the missing cognominitus Carlton Cardamon. Do you realize what this means, Tony? What this guy knows and has been hiding. If he can read any menu, that means he can probably read anything. He can tell you what the skywriting said. Fuck. Soon! Okay, last time I was here, the Ovas had a Cibo and Valesker in their high command. Guy who got crazy strong from whatever he ate. They may have some other surprises in store for us. Yeah, Tony, about that. Don't think the surprise is coming from the Ovas. Damn it, he's here. This way, but this is the way that detention cells. Ah, crap. I think that's the cognominitus. He used to be, not so much anymore. Savoy. Indeed. Quite an amusing coincidence that we keep meeting like this, wouldn't you agree, Agent Chu? How our paths continue to cross. How the trajectories of our respective investigations so stubbornly persist in their alignment. Months ago, crazed robot sous chef. A few months before that, radioactive chog. Last year, satanic serial exorcism. And perhaps, given this continuing series of events, it is time to admit the undeniable commonality of our objectives, and embrace the possibility that our combined effort could achieve far greater success than either of us could individually. I'm not fucking working with you, Savoy. If you just hear me out, in order for me to properly articulate the scope and severity of the threat we face, as well as the necessity of combining our talents, and the great benefits that will inevitably result when we do, hear me out, and then render your judgment. Perhaps over dinner. I'm not fucking working with you, Savoy. Not ever! The cognominitus, he tell you anything? With words? Oh, no. No, I'm afraid reading a human-written menu is far different than alien script, and more than this poor man's fragile psyche could withstand. That, and a steady diet of raw gulzaberries since his joining with the overcoat, has rendered the poor soul utterly insane, and completely insensible. They cleaned him up so they could present him to his holiness, but I'm afraid that this is now his natural state. If you want to know what he knows, you'll have to employ another method. Sorry about this. Well, you getting a peek into that wackadoo's head? On what he knows? What the skywriting said? It's hard to understand. It's almost like it's two things at once. Two different thoughts at the same time with two different messages. Concentrate, lad. You can easily separate them. You got it? Yeah, I got it. What's it say? Chicken is doom. I guessed that part already. What else? We are coming. And the Last Suppers, Chapter 2. Neer Sharma is the Executive Chief Director of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, and upon his promotion to NASA's top position, his first order of business was to review the budgets of its international telescopes and make sure all the money was being spent appropriately. His second order of business was to get all three of the major land-based long-range optical reflecting telescopes refurbished, restaffed, and again operational. The Gardner-Kavashanaya International Telescope in the Arctic Circle. Farmington Kapusta in the heart of the Amazon. And Granger Kulibiak in northern Siberia. Mission Control, this morning. Executive Chief Director Scheimer. Got something I think you should see. Gravitational lensing readings of Autocarpus 3, an exoplanet discovered about 4 years ago in the Moraisi constellation, and these findings have been confirmed by each of our international telescopes. Holy shit. Autocarpus 3. Meanwhile, in Paris, this seems an eminently agreeable way to spend an afternoon, does it not? Now, you know my dear departed Frangelica, God rest her soul. She and I used a vacation in Paris every spring, back before the avian flu took her. Fuck. Please pass along my compliments to your lovely bride on her most recent novel, and let her know I fervently await the conclusion of her saga. And I hear our Olive is doing well, at the top of her class at the FDA Training Academy, on her way to a most impressive law enforcement career. Oh, such a wonderful, delightful, remarkable young lady. First off, she's not our Olive. She's my Olive. And of all the things I don't want to talk about with you, she's at the absolute top of the list. Also at the top, conversation about my wife. I don't give a fuck about making small talk with you, Savoy. You said you have something important to say. Fucking get to it. But I don't give a fuck about your vacations. And I don't give a fuck about Paris. Fine. Mr. Anari, what else do you have for Agent Chu? Egyptian tea. Egypt! What the hell is this, Savoy? This is Herman Anari. Mr. Anari is a Victor Locusiah. Dine in his presence and he's able to transport you to a geographic location based on the nationality of the food you're eating. And dine with me while eating old food, and I can transport you to an approximation of not just where your food originated, but also when. What, you mean like time travel? Well, yes and no. There are some rules, after all. But for the sake of brevity, for this conversation and what I've planned for us today, for the journey which we are to embark upon at this juncture, that answer is yes. Which is why I've employed the good Mr. Anari's services for today, and at not inconsiderable expense, as well as the 3 tickets to the meal we'll be enjoying today, also at an exorbitant cost. You can bring us back now, Herman. Of course, Mason. Welcome to the Bon Vivants, my friends, for a memorable and exquisite banquet of the absolute most unique cuisine on the planet. Your dinner will be served shortly. The Bon Vivants are a group of extremely devoted and obscenely affluent culinary enthusiasts wholly devoted to the Epicurean exploration of plants and animals that are endangered or long extinct. I'm familiar with the bon vivants. Good. Then we can steer this conversation toward matters of import, such as the fact that, historically, there have been very few verified cibopaths, and what few there have been are all too often pitted by circumstance into opposing adversarial positions. Consequently, there is usually just one ending for people such as you and I. For cibopaths, one will die, and the other will dine on the flesh of his enemy. Obviously, the outcome of this, its apparent inevitability, is not ideal for either of us, and therefore something I'm taking extensive pains to avoid. And so, it is my fervent hope that this demonstration and our coetaneous accompanying dialogue will result in an understanding and mutual agreement between the two of us. Your dinners, messieurs. Spit-roasted plesiosaurus with Mongolian chitipati satay on a bed of Cretaceous autumn fern. Bon appetit. I'm not fucking working with you, Savoy. I don't care what weird history lessons you have planned for me. Not exactly history, my dear Agent Chu. More like prehistory. Fear not, lad. You can interact with anything in this environment without it having any permanent consequences on the space-time continuum. You can't step on the wrong plant or squish the wrong bug and wipe out humanity, if that's what you're concerned about. This is more akin to a psychic approximation of the time period, as opposed to actual time travel. You can, however, still be killed, so tread carefully. Tread carefully? Toward what? Toward truth, Agent Chu. Toward illumination and understanding. Toward revelation. Toward this. And toward them. Take a close look, lad. Opposable thumbs, low forehead and heavy brow ridge, significantly larger cranial cavity. What are they? A species still undiscovered in our modern era. Part of the estimated 71% of dinosaur genera humans have yet to discover. The real question is, what were they supposed to be? And the answer to that is, or was, the future. Had it not been for a bit of cosmic happenstance, an errant meteor that came too close to our planet's gravitational pull and brought the Mesozoic era to a cataclysmic end, these creatures would have evolved into Earth's dominant life form. Mammals would have been their foodstuff, and not the other way around. Millions of years ago, Earth's evolutionary track was thrown off, the evolution that was supposed to be. And now, in our time, somebody is coming to correct the error. Confound it, Herman! Look what you've done! You've gone and scared them off! Were you not just admonishing Agent Chu to tread carefully? Perhaps you should take your own advice and... Oh, shit. Oh, to hell with this! What are you doing, Chu? You're not going to stop this brute, or even slow it down with a few shots from your service revolver. I'm not aiming for the dino. Aiming for the dead Victor Locusire. I know you're powerful, boy, but surely you're not that powerful. That's certainly not enough of Inari's blood to—
No, not to absorb his ability permanently, but maybe there's enough that I can bring us back.
Oh.
And would Messieurs care to see the dessert menu?
No!
My dear Anthony, I hope you can now appreciate the scale of what we're up against, the astonishing scope and terrible gravity of what we are seeking to expose. You have power, Anthony. I have knowledge. Think of what we could accomplish if we joined forces. I told you, Savoy, I won't work with you. You've killed people who haven't deserved killing. And I very well may again before this is over. As will you, I'm afraid. You bit off my ear. You ate it! You left me no choice. I'm not working with you, Savoy. Whatever I need to learn, whatever I have to do, I'll do it on my own. I've told you the most likely outcome if we remain adversaries. I don't care. I told you I'd hear you out, and I have. We're done here. Get it through your fat head, Savoy. You and me, not gonna happen. And that's final.
You dumb, stubborn son of a bitch. You're going to regret this. End the Last Suppers, Chapter 3. This is not the ending I was hoping for. Out of all the myriad possibilities, the limitless potential of options and outcomes, anything other than this would have been vastly preferable. But you've left me no choice. I've endeavored tirelessly to impress upon you the almost inconceivable gravity of our predicament, what we face as a people, as a planet, and how little a single life means when the fate of billions is in the balance. Truly, I was hoping this could have gone differently, that we could have worked together, tried to find some solution with our combined knowledge, abilities, and expertise. But you've made it abundantly clear this is not to be, under any circumstance, in any situation. What happens now is on you, Anthony Chu. Every last bit of it. End prologue. This is how it ends. The last chapter of Amelia's final book. Every single damn time. Until today. Amelia Mintz is a best-selling author, the pioneer of a revolutionary new literary genre of cybo-sensory fiction. Amelia is a sabo scrivener, able to write about food so accurately, so vividly, and with such precision that people get the actual sensation of taste when reading Amelia's culinary descriptions. But after much practice, as well as a steady diet of the strange fruit known as the colzaberry, Amelia has been able to hone her ability into that of a sabo conscribo, able to convey sensation of flavor to character, theme, and story. Each installment of her science fiction detective story, Eaters, has flown off the bookstore shelves. And nobody is more curious about the final chapter than Amelia herself, who doesn't so much write the story as channel it while feeling the effects of the colzaberry. Until today.
This is Agent Anthony Chu with the FDA. I can't take your call right now, but if you leave your name and— Hi, Tony. I know you're on assignment and most likely can't take any calls, but call me as soon as you get this. Something
Something just happened. I was working on the ending of the Eaters series, and same thing as before. No matter what I do, no matter what I try to write, it ends the same way, with the world blowing up. So today I tried something different. I tried to rewrite the conclusion from the point of view of the detective's partner, the journalist character. But when I did that... I think this means something, Tony. I've got this awful feeling, like something terrible is going to happen. I'm sorry, I'm not making much sense, am I? Maybe after this case wraps up, you can take a few days off. Maybe the two of us can get away for a while. See you tonight, Tony. I love you.
Earlier and elsewhere, the Punxsutawney groundhog emerges from his hole, sees his shadow, and predicts 6 more weeks of winter. And elsewhere, JN Tex Pitara sets a new record for riding Big Merle, the meanest and orneriest bucking chonko south of the Pecos, to bring home the championship trophy at the Pudswallop County Fair and Rodeo. And over in Louisville, 60-issue Run becomes the first thoroughbred race horse to win the Kentucky Derby. And at Sea Love Aquatic Amusement Park in San Diego, Chemu the Orchog delights the water park with another splash and smile-filled sellout show. And in his marble-lined, gold-inlaid office at Montero Industries, CEO, owner, patent holder, and royalty receiver for chogs and all chog-related genetically designed hybrids, fills his hot tub with $50 bills and invites 2 ladies from the secretarial pool to join him, just as he does every day. Every day until today. What the hell do you want, boy? Can't you see you're interrupting?
There's a problem, sir, down in the research lab. A big problem.
And a growing one.
Now, seems to me you have some explaining to do, Montero. But how and why you did this ain't half as curious as how you got paroled in the first place.
I know you boys, don't I?
Fuck yes you do. We're the guys who arrested you the first time around. He's the guy you tried to kill, and he married the reporter lady you were about to put a hit on for investigating you. Now, the way I heard it is, after cooling your heels in FDA maximum security for a couple of years, you were able to buy some fancy pants lawyers to push through an appeal, right about the same time material on your case went missing from an FDA evidence locker. Now, I don't know nothing about that, but I do know I had nothing to do with this here explosion. All the genetic experiments we're running at Montero Industries, I got permits and FDA approval. We're operating above board. We've recovered files on your laptop that say otherwise. Your personal approval signing off on experimentation, not just to perfect a new alternative meat source, but a giant version of that meat source. That's just the sort of unauthorized shit that violates your parole and gets you thrown back in the slammer. I get a phone call, right? Knock yourself out, Chief.
Savoy, it's Montero. I'm in trouble. I need your help.
Salutations, Mr. Montero. Would that we could converse, but I'm afraid you've caught me at a most inopportune moment.
Things ain't great for me either, big man. I got the FDA breathing down my neck. That skinny Asian Peckerwood and his smart-ass robot-faced partner. I know you got pull with the FDA. You got me out of prison, Savoy. Now you gotta keep me out. And that's the deal, right? And in exchange, I keep my ears open and keep supplying you with information.
Mr. Montero, I'm afraid circumstance must dictate a conclusion to our arrangement. I am no longer in need of any information you are capable of providing. Henceforth, you are free of any obligation to me, and I of you as well. I cannot help you, but you might find solace in the fact that, as of this very evening, things will take a very dark turn for FDA agent Anthony Chu. He will undoubtedly have far greater concerns than pursuing any petty vendetta against you.
A lot of good that'll do me. These guys are out to get me right now. You hear me? These FDA guys want to crucify me.
Goodbye, Mr. Montero.
Shit. Nailing this guy and sending him back up the river sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, except for one thing. He didn't do it.
What?
Montero, he didn't do it. Was a disgruntled employee out to frame him.
What?
Remember that Angus Hinterwald case a couple years ago? The geneticist that created explosive cow DNA and tried to pawn it off to the highest bidder? Some pissed-off Montero industry lab tech got hold of that genetic material and mixed it with a cocktail of bovine growth hormone. Then he hacked into Montero's computers to make it look like Montero signed off on it. That's what happened here today.
And you know this how? I haven't seen you biting or licking on anything since we've been here.
Smoke in the air. Particles from the explosion all around us. I'm breathing it.
Jesus, Tony, you can do that? You remember all the hinky shit Montero tried to pull last time, right? How he tried to kill you and then Amelia? Maybe we keep quiet about your little revelation and send it back to the big house anyway?
There, it's done.
What's done? I'm going back to prison, aren't I?
No, but Eldritch Sazerac will be.
Who?
One of your employees. You gave him an extraordinarily bad performance review, denied him his annual raise, and he was more than a little pissed off about it. Right now, an FDA Special Ops squad is busting in on him, in the hotel he holed up in, about 15 miles away. And if his attitude is as bad as you said in your performance review, you can be sure the FDA will give him a little something to remember them by.
I'm not under arrest?
You're free to go, Mr. Montero, and on behalf of the FDA, we sincerely apologize for detaining you.
Looks like it's your lucky day, cowboy. You'll probably be getting a big insurance settlement out of this, too. But this don't mean we won't be watching you, Buster. That we don't think you're a crook and a scumbag, and that we won't toss you back into the clink first chance we get, capiche? Y'all have a good one.
As of this very evening, things will take a very dark turn for FDA agent Anthony Chu. Agent Chu! Agent Chu!
Yes?
Never mind. Evening! Catch you on the flip side, Ton.
Yep, see you in the morning. Hi, Tony. I know you're on assignment and most likely can't take any calls, but call me as soon as you get this. Something just happened. What the fuck?
Amelia! And the Last Suppers, Chapter 4. The Death of Amelia Mintz.
Amelia...
Elsewhere!
That's how it began for me, with the death of my darling wife. Her abrupt and tragic demise after contracting what I was told was an avian flu. That's what we were all told, while millions suffered and died all around us, all over the world. And I vowed I would get to the truth about what was behind the contagion, about the reasons for the prohibition on poultry that followed. Who knew? What did they know? When? And what would come next? It feels like it was a very long time ago when I pledged I would find out the answers. I would succeed in this, in her memory, and I would do so at any price. And believe me when I tell you the cost has been exorbitant. I've done things I am not proud of during the long, winding course of my continuing inquiry and investigation. A fair share of terrible things. Things I did not want to do, that I could once not even conceive of doing. That's over, at least. Almost, anyway. I needed to give my wife's loss meaning, you see. To find purpose in an act of otherwise indiscriminate cosmic cruelty. Amelia Mintz, that talented scribe. Hers is a distinctly more far-reaching role. One of far greater consequence. You'll see this soon enough, as our story barrels ever closer to its end. And again, let me reiterate, this is not the way I wanted things to be. Were we to work together, Anthony, perhaps another option would have presented itself. Perhaps not. My search for the truth is at an end, and I've found everything I need to know. And I know there is no doubt the worst is yet to come. But for what needs to be done, this is my only choice.
Now!
Amelia?
Which brings us back to the death of Amelia Mintz. Which, fortunately, does not happen this issue.
Amelia! Amelia, what happened? Savoy.
Savoy? Savoy! Elsewhere! Eaters, the final chapters by Amelia Mintz. Now!
He saved me. Savoy saved you? From a group of egg terrorists. They kicked in our door. They ordered me to give up my manuscript, all I had written of the Last Eaters book, and when I refused... Well, that's right about when Savoy showed up. And then he... These egg guys, they're dead. Yeah, I don't think Savoy even worked up a sweat. And then...
I apologize, dear lady, sincerely and profusely for what you endured at the hands of these coarse ruffians, and for the dishevelment caused to your otherwise charming abode. I, too, beg pardon for what happens next, and of course for this act of base larceny.
He took my manuscript, Tony. He took the hard copy, my backup, and my laptop. All of it. And the Golzaberries I'd need to write it again. Don't worry, I'll get it back. Savoy's been doing everything he can to get me to work with him, and I won't. This has something to do with that, I'm positive. You know where he is? No, but I'm pretty damn sure who does. Be careful, Tony. He's expecting this.
Tell your husband he'll be seeing me again. Very soon. That egg would come after Amelia was something I discovered during the most recent phase of my investigation. The story Amelia is telling is important on a level she doesn't understand, but others are discovering its importance, though they don't know exactly how it is important. And now they never will. I went back to Yamapalu recently, killed the Cognominitus and ate him in his entirety in order to gain his decoding ability. And I've killed others, so many others. I'm fully cognizant of the monster I've been forced to become, and I am not proud. I don't have the power you do, young man. What you can glean from a few drops of blood takes me several bites. What you learn from a few bites takes me an entire body. Trust me when I tell you my search for the truth has been singularly awful. But at last I know all I need to know, and at least among other things, other important things, I was able to discover and circumvent this plot against your lovely Amelia. This is information I would have shared with you, but considering all my efforts to work with you have been rebuffed, resoundingly and on no uncertain terms, I concluded this the better option. I've destroyed her manuscript, by the way, in every physical form and iteration, and it's going to be extraordinarily difficult if you want it back. I understand everything now, Anthony. What I have to do, and what you'll have to do as well. Oh, God.
Not long after, across town. Come and get me, FDA. Come on and take your best shot, you jack-booted swine. Caesar, Colby, Chew, nice of you to show up so quick. I just called for backup like 5 minutes ago. Is that who I think it is? The guy who built those drones and tried to blow up the Statue of Liberty a few months ago? A few months ago. Some kind of carrot dude, right? A duck-a-defecator, yes. Been tracking this fucker for the last 6 months. Now I've got him cornered, and I'm bringing him down. Only today, he's built himself a mech suit. Come on, FDA man. It's tango with carrots. I'm ready for him this time, though. Made good and damn sure I'm more bullets than he's got carrots. He's not walking away from this one. He just might, Caesar. We got ourselves a bit of a situation. Something higher priority just came up. Higher priority? Ain't nothing more important than me bringing in this son of a—
I need you to take me to Savoy. Show me where he's at, Agent Valanzano, and do it now.
What are you up to, Chew?
Now.
Are you fucking out of your mind, Chew?
Savoy here, Caesar. You should probably expect a visit from Agent Chew shortly. He's going to be looking for me.
Yeah, big man. He's here, standing in front of me right now. Though another 10 seconds or so, he might not be standing at all.
He's angry, Caesar, and he has reason to be. Cooperate with him. Bring him to me directly, to the safe house on 3rd Avenue.
Kinda in the middle of something important at the moment, fat man. Come and get me, you FDA pigs!
Not more important than this, Caesar. Trust me. I dare say this is the most important thing.
Hey! Hello! One of FDA's 10 most wanted up here!
And Caesar, one more thing. I want to thank you, Caesar. You're a monumentally talented agent. You were the best partner I could have ever hoped for, that anyone could ever have hoped for. But you're an even better friend. Goodbye.
Goodbye? Goodbye! Oh, no! No, 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 no! What the hell, Mason? What the hell have you done? You! Whatever's going on here, this is because of you! Damn you, Chew! Damn you! Whoa, 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 whoa! Hold on, Caesar. Tony had nothing to do with this. What's this then? What? Found it in the big man's jacket pocket. Addressed to you, Chew.
Oh, shit.
Agent Chew. Eat me.
And Chew, Book 11, The Last Suppers.